So I feel like there's a lot of talk about healing. Heal from your heartbreak, heal from church hurt, heal from trauma, heal from your childhood. The list goes on. But no one really talks about how difficult it is to actually really admit that you're hurting. And I feel like perhaps that may be where healing really begins. Personally, I don't think people are avoiding healing because they don't want to heal. Everybody wants to feel better. But I wonder if we're avoiding healing because it somehow feels dangerous. Like the pain is intense. And maybe saying it out loud makes it real. It's almost as if there's nowhere to hide now that it's come out. And I think the reasons why it feels dangerous is because once you admit like you're hurt, once you admit you're in pain, there has to be something that follows it. So perhaps you may need to now grieve. Perhaps you may need to change and you're not sure about who you're going to have to become. Perhaps you may need to ask for help. Perhaps if you admit the pain, you may start to feel like a victim, or you feel like other people may see you as a victim. And that's hard because it's easier to pretend nothing happened so you can remain strong, so you can remain as somebody who perhaps is untouchable. But admitting pain means that you actually have to admit that you're weak, that you have feelings, that things hurt, that you're not as strong as you always let on that you are. Maybe that's why we avoid it. One thing I've noticed about myself is that when it's time to be vulnerable and admit stuff, I've actually caught myself saying like, ugh, like I feel sick. Like there's something about admitting it that makes me feel all icky. It's like, ugh, like, do I have to be weak? Do I have to be vulnerable? There's something about saying, this really hurt me. That feels so exposing. It feels like nakedness in some kind of way. I mentioned not knowing who you become, but there's also something about not knowing what you'll find. It's scary because pain can be so deep, and often pain and healing in the same way is not linear. So it's almost like avoiding a bank statement because you're scared of what you'll find. So for example, you have loads of student loan debt or credit card debt and you just avoid looking at your statements because if I don't look at it, then I don't have to deal with it. But avoiding it never takes it away. It doesn't vanish. But not looking still feels safer somehow. But the reality is that avoiding it doesn't reduce the debt. It only delays dealing with it. And let's make no mistake, familiar feels safer. So whether or not admitting pain is not good for us in the long run, it is something that we would still do because familiar is safe. We know this road is like a road that we've traveled on a million times, right? Our footprints are in the sand, so we know where to go, we know how to go it, we can do it with our eyes closed. It's a familiar path. If you're used to brushing things off, if you're used to saying, "No, I'm good, man," like, what do you mean I'm cool, man? Like, yeah, everything's good, fam. If you're used to saying it is what it is, or we move, then of course it's going to be hard to admit, actually, we're not moving, this hurts. So yeah, familiar is safer. Avoiding pain feels safer. Not because it's healthy, but because it's familiar, because we know it, we're used to it, we're used to this version of ourselves, we're used to this narrative and story that we tell ourselves. And sometimes admitting the pain means that everything has to change. And that's difficult because who likes change? And we know this version of ourselves for sure. We know the masked version. We know the ones with loads of defenses and loads of pretense. We know the one who's always happy, the joyful one, the one who's the life of the party, or the one who just doesn't say too much, the one who doesn't complain, the one who doesn't like to cause trouble. But admitting pain may mean the opposite of all these things, or the opposite of the versions of yourself that you've been. So maybe today for someone who's trying to heal, someone who is hurting and doesn't know where to start, maybe today you don't need to fix everything. Maybe you don't need to understand everything. Perhaps you simply just need to say or admit to yourself that really hurts. I personally don't believe that healing begins when we have all the answers. I think that healing begins when we stop pretending, when we give ourselves permission to feel, when we give ourselves permission to be honest, when we give ourselves permission to be raw. I think that's where healing begins. I will see you in my next video. Take care.